You want to talk the game?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go to the board. It's brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. We've got the game, and then we've got props, and then we've got a parlay straight to the moon. We'll hit Super Bowl MVP. We'll do it all. The board is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. Niners laying 2.5 against the Chiefs. The total's 47.5.
You're going to be mad at me because right off the rip, I'm telling you, I don't have a big opinion on the game.
It's okay.
I really like the over. I just question, how does either team stop each other? I mean, the Chiefs, you know what you're going to get. They're going to pound the rock. Mahomes will not turn the ball over. Mahomes will not take sacks. And the new Mahomes, not the 9.2 yards per pass guy of his first few years, this is a guy now who has serial killer patience.
Yep.
He will take what you give. The Niners run a static defense. They don't switch coverages. They don't play games.
They don't blitz.
So you're going to show Patrick Mahomes what you're going to do to him, and you think he won't figure it out?
Eventually.
Then you flip it, and you go, all right, Niners, monolith. Spags wants to blitz and play zero cover. Well, that's a problem. Purdy's the best quarterback in the league against zero cover. Oh, and the Chiefs don't do great stopping a run. Oops, Christian McCaffrey. Jim, I do see a high-scoring game here. I love over 47.5.
Okay, before I let you go first. I'm going to be very predictable.
I'm sorry.
But I want to know if you'd be open to a teaser. We tease the Chiefs up to 8.5, and we tease the total. Because you could tease it down, right? Because now that's 41.5? Chiefs getting 8.5, and we go over 41.5. How does that miss? Is that free money or free money?
Listen, here's the deal. I think you're onto something there, pal. I lean Niners just because Earth is on the Chiefs, but I don't love doing it because it's Mahomes as a dog. But man alive, it is a team versus Michael Jordan.
I disagree with that. The Chiefs have the better defense in this game statistically.
All right, so if I take the top 10 players that line up in Super Bowl 58, I would argue
you get the Chiefs get what, 3 players?
Niners have 7.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
It is a battle of more than 10 people.
But you're getting Michael Jordan. You're getting Pat Mahomes.
And again, you know where I'm at on this. I don't even have to tell you.
Nope, I know.
But just to break it down, I think they got the better defense. They've got the better quarterback. You talk clutch factor in a big game, the spread's 2.5. Mm-hmm. Do you trust Shanahan or do you trust Mahomes? I will trust Kansas City. Factor in the kicking game. Butker better than Moody. Factor in the AFC, a gauntlet that Kansas City has made its way through. The NFC, we had more questions about. And then we'll talk football inside the matchup. Niner O-line, here's the dirty little secret. While they're a great running team, they're not very good up front. Center, right guard, right tackle, struggle in pass pro. That's Chris Jones, George Karlaftis. So the Chiefs defense, they're great at eliminating the yak yardage. They're the best team in football at eliminating the yards after the catch. They're great at stopping motion in the red zone, which is what San Francisco likes to do to create a little mismatch. So if you can kick field goals, if you don't score on this defense, Purdy with a slow start, Kansas City jumps out to a lead and puts them in a bad spot.
Can I ask you one critical question?
Yeah.
Because everything you said is true. Then why is San Francisco favored?
I don't know. But let's get to the public thing, because I saw a great stat.
Go ahead.
The public side, which Kansas City is, they're 10-10 straight up and against the spread since 2004. For the first time since 2005-07, the public has lost 3 straight Super Bowls. I don't know that the public's going to lose every Super Bowl.
I agree.
This feels like a time where you can just back Mahomes like you backed Brady in the majority of his Super Bowls.
I also, if we're talking from a Kansas City perspective, look, you get to choose your own adventure. And what I mean by that is, because Steve Wilkes in San Francisco, they line up Ward on one side, they line up Shanoris, Lenoris, Baboris, or whatever his name is on the other, and guess what else? You know where Ambry Thomas is going to be.
Pick on him. So
you get to pick who I'm lining up on who. Now, do I think the Niners linebackers are up to the task of Kelsey? Yes.
Yeah, Fred Warner over the middle is going to force Mahomes to get a little more creative.
But if Mahomes gets a pre-snap picture of exactly what's happening, he's patient, he has no turnover-worthy throws in the playoffs, and they're going to pound the rock, you have every right to believe, all right, we've got a case. Now let's flip it. Let's go to the Niners. You go, okay. How do we get this done exactly? Well, first things first. I think one of the biggest mismatches out there is going to be Leo Chenal having to cover anyone.
Kittle over the middle.
Right. So I think right off the top, my security blanket is there. 2, Debo, healthy.
Yeah.
No one needed the 2-week break more than Debo.
Fair.
And if anyone did, it'd be CMC.
Fair.
But the Niners now are put together, they're healthy, and look at the plan of attack. Spagnuolo wants to blitz. It is the calling card.
I know, and it's not ideal.
You can't do it against
Especially
Purdy.
a team that wants to generate that second level and yards after the catch. But the Chiefs have done a good job pressuring while not giving up big-time yards after the catch. And Spagnuolo, he's been in this spot before. He's coached in the Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator with multiple teams, including your Giants.
Yeah.
And, Mike, those teams weren't heavy blitz. I think you have to give him the ability to throw a different defense at San Francisco, because I think he did keep both Buffalo and Baltimore out of their comfort zone. He can't blitz as aggressively as they have all year. I don't think so.
No.
But that's why I tell you, if San Francisco's right side of the line isn't very good, and you got Chris Jones and Karlaftis, maybe you don't need the blitz as often, and you can keep some of those younger DBs in coverage and limit the damage.
Now, I think one of the interesting things, too, just to go to your Chiefs point, and again, I'm building all of these things with the Chiefs, and I'm going, then why is San Francisco favored? And oh, by the way, why is the number getting bigger?
Niners have been favored every game this season.
Yeah, and you know what? Not only, this thing when it came out was at 2, and it immediately went down to 1.5 real quick. It bumped out to 2. And as we sit here right now,
2.5.
it's bumped out to 2.5.
And it's not moving.
It will never hit 3.
Correct.
But if the majority of people are betting on the Chiefs, why is that number getting bigger? You have to ask.
I know.
But let me give you one more Chiefs point, because I think you deserve some flowers that you've stuck with them. You're confident in them. 47% of their snaps, they're running 13 or 12 personnel, meaning 3 tight ends or 2 tight ends and 1 back.
A little beef.
Nobody does it more. What's the Niners' biggest problem, Ben? The edges.
Yep.
Chase Young, Nick Bosa, and wide receivers cracking down on him. Now, what happens if I bring the beef? See, this is a concern to me because whatever they're doing schematically, Bosa and Young, 2 playoff games, have both looked totally stunned that people are blocking down on them and taking the edge. So I think there's something here that Reed has morphed this offense into what it needs to be with big bodies, controlling the line of scrimmage.
They're going on longer drives. 12-play drive, could be 6-7 minute drive. And they'll take, some of this is Mahomes taking what the defense gives them, but it's also what they're leaning into. They'll run Pacheco. They'll get him on the outside. He runs angry. If they're able to get the edge the way the Lions did, the way the Packers did, they're as balanced as they've ever been, Kansas City. This doesn't have to be Mahomes drops back 40 times.
No, and even if he does,
he's Mahomes.
You don't sack him.
Right.
His escapability, his willingness to be patient. I also, too, you can put this in the prop area. He hasn't run for a touchdown. He's got dreamy odds for an anytime TD.
I believe he ran for a touchdown in the first Super Bowl he played in against the Niners. I might be wrong there, but I like where your head's at.
I just, from value.
We'll pop it in the props.
But here,
You mentioned
Jim's
Reed.
about to read some amazing stats to you. I'm going to shut up. Ask yourself as Jim's speaking, why the fuck is San Francisco favored if ... go?
Andy Reid, 13 days rest or more outside of week 1. He's 31-7, including 26-3 with Mahomes and McNabb as his quarterbacks. So in other words, when he doesn't have a stiff, when he's got Mahomes or McNabb, the guy is elite with prep time. This is the first coaching rematch, or this is the 4th coaching rematch in the history of the Super Bowl. The 3 previous guys who won the first game all won the second game.
Why are the Niners favored again?
There's a coaching edge here with Reed.
But wait, there's more.
Mahomes, we doing this thing as an underdog again? 10-1-1 against the number, 9-3 straight up. Mahomes, you do not bet against as an underdog. His only loss, I'm sorry, let me get this right. He's trailed in halftime in 4 playoff games. His only loss was the 2021 Super Bowl against Tom Brady. He's never out of it. He came back last year and in his first Super Bowl. Even if the Niners run the ball and jump out and they have it right where they want it, that's Patrick Mahomes.
Ask yourself, why are the Niners favored again?
I found this stat. Mahomes 15-7 against the spread when they're not the public side. When they are the public side, he's still the winning side. It's just not nearly as juicy, 45, 42, and 3. The moral of the story is you bet Patrick Mahomes as an underdog. You bet Patrick Mahomes, period. You bet Andy Reid with rest, period. And this is not, I know you said this is like one man against the team. Kansas City plays defense.
I told you I was going to shut my mouth.
Okay.
Because the stats are, I told you. Shame on me that I don't want to pick the winner of the Super Bowl. But the over is my play. But if you're forcing me and you're like, Michael, I demand you take at least a half unit so you can root for a team, I am going to take San Francisco just so we have something to talk about together.
Perfect.
I mean, Jim, I mean, it's
I'm not
just,
mad at you.
Because here's the thing.
Because you're
Why
right.
are the Chiefs not favored?
I know.
Why are the Chiefs not favored? Why are the Chiefs not favored? What do you think? They're giving out gifts? They don't give you a gift. They're only going to comp you a room if you lost your ass at the tables. They don't give you a room because they like your mustache.
Okay, fine.